الله أكبر الله أكبر.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه، أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. كيف فينا نساهم إنه نرجع اسم فلسطين للخرائط العالمية والإلكترونية؟ هالحملة العالمية اتعملت لنرجع اسم فلسطين لخرائط جوجل وغيرها من الخرائط العالمية والإلكترونية. هالحملة يلي لازم كل واحد فينا يساهم فيها ونقدم الشيء البسيط للقضية الإسلامية الفلسطينية، وتحديدا بهالموقع المعتمد والموثوق عالميا يلي اسمه change.org، يلي ساهم بتغيير كتير شغلات حول العالم بسبب انه مؤسس هالموقع مؤثر كتير بالوسط العالمي يلي اسمه بن رتاري. والعملية ما حتاخد منا إلا 3 خطوات بسيطة، فتابعوا معي الخطوات خطوة بخطوة. حنضغط على الرابط الموجود بصندوق الوصف، أو فيكن تبحثوا عنه بمحرك البحث جوجل. حنلاقي الصفحة قدامنا بهالشكل موجهة لجوجل. الهدف منه إنه يشيلوا اسم إسرائيل ويرجعوا اسم فلسطين على الخرائط. حنكتب الاسم الأول والاسم الأخير والبريد الإلكتروني. إذا كنت حابب تشارك إيميلك واسمك وتوصلك أخبار عن هالحملة فرح تأشر على العلامة الأولى. وإذا ما كنتوا حابين إنكم تستقبلوا أي معلومات عن هالحملة فبتقدروا تلغوا الإشارة من المربع الأول. بالنسبة للمربع الثاني، إنك تسمح للموقع إنه يظهر اسمك وتعليقك بالموقع. وبعد هيك حنأشر على المربع الأخير ليتأكد الموقع إنك منك روبوت. وبعد هيك رح تضغط على زر التسجيل، رح تظهر لك هالصفحة. حتنزل لآخر الصفحة، حتلاقي عندك خيارين، إما إنك تتبرع للموقع أو إنك تشارك الرابط. فحنضغط على مشاركة الرابط اللي هو الزر الثاني. حنختار أي خيار من الموجودين قدامنا، وأنا اخترت نسخ الرابط تحت اسم كوبي لينك. وبنكون بهالطريقة سجلنا بهالحملة، وبسأل الله سبحانه وتبارك وتعالى أن يكتب أجرنا وأجركم. تقبلوا تحياتي وخالص احترامي وتقديري.
I think that the Israeli government is killing children in Gaza. We know that we have the info coming out from Gaza. And in fact, the Israeli government is also using artillery shelling now. So I think it's an indiscriminate attack on Gaza, and this is going to kill lots of children. And we have to pay for it with our money as taxpayers. To me and to others, this is unacceptable. We have an international campaign, a solidarity campaign for Palestinian rights. And since 2014, the BDS campaign has grown stronger. There is more support for the Palestinian cause among lots of young Jews, especially in the United States.
Do you expect that any change in favor of your thought in Israeli policies will take place anytime soon?
Anytime soon, probably not. But I do expect more and more Israelis to understand that the current Israeli policies are basically something like a dead-end street. And I think the solution should be based on equal rights to all people here, without any discrimination on the basis of religion, ethnicity, and so on. And of course, this also means equal rights for Jews, but right now the ones who are being denied equality are the Palestinians. So my entire approach is based on this simple principle of equality and human rights.
When and why you did quit Israeli army?
I was a captain in the Israeli Air Force. I was a Black Hawk helicopter pilot, and I realized during the second Intifada that what the Israeli Air Force and the Israeli military is doing is a war crime, terrorizing a population of millions of Palestinians. And when I realized that, I decided to not just leave, but to organize other pilots that will publicly refuse to take part in these crimes. As a child in Israel, you are being brought up in a very strong Zionist militaristic education. You don't know almost anything about Palestine. You don't know about the Nakba in 1948. You don't know about the ongoing oppression. Slowly, some of us, the minority, opened their eyes to see the gloom reality. And to me, one of the things was when I realized that the Air Force that I am serving in, although I was flying rescue missions, but other pilots in other squadrons were engaged in mass killing of civilians. civilians, what was called the targeted killing missions. They were sent to throw missiles and bombs in the centers of Palestinian towns. And at some point, I realized that this is an act of terrorism. I was fired from all the companies I worked for in Israel, and it was hard for me to, because I support the Palestinian struggle, and because I give lectures all around the world, because I'm part of the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, because I say that Israel is an apartheid state, because I say that my government and my military commanders are war criminals.
First of all, everyone should know that Netanyahu himself, and of course the thugs around him, the thugs that are called the government of Israel, are responsible for the fire. He ignited the fire and started it in purpose. And it's not a coincidence that the fire began at the same day, more or less, that the mandate for forming a government went from Netanyahu to Yair Lapid. Netanyahu started the fire once he understood that he couldn't form a government. So he is responsible for the bloodshed. He is responsible for any drop of blood that is spilled of Jews as well as of Palestinians. So the responsibility, the blame should be put on him and his government.
Basically, you're saying he's extremely cynical. You're saying that he did all of this for political reasons and that this had nothing to do with Israel's security, and that therefore the 200 plus dead in Gaza and the 10 dead Israelis, that it is because of his actions that this has happened.
You summarized my view completely, perfectly. And I would say is more than cynical. And I will be very, very blunt and very, very, very sharp. And I hope that the people who are watching us will understand that and they will absorb that. I said 1 year ago in the Knesset that Netanyahu is a pheromone psychopath. And I said that again. He's a clinical psychopath who doesn't care a bit for the lives and well-being of his fellows. He cares only about himself. He wants to stay in power in order to stay out of prison. And that's the only reason that we have been suffering in the last week or 8 days, and especially, of course, the people of Gaza. My heart goes for the people of Gaza as well as for the people of Israel who suffer because this psychopath is still in power. And I hope that he won't be in power very, very soon.
All they want is their country back.
Well, that's not gonna happen, I'm sorry.
So you're telling me that children, innocent children, deserve to die?
Yes, because they're, in the future, are terrorists and towards Israel.
Okay, yeah.
So I rather stop them living now before they grow and have a weapon. It's simpler.
Oh, okay. So killing kids is like, so if you had the choice, go into hospitals where kids are born and kill them.
Everyone till the last, all Gaza needs to be flat. No one there.
No one there.
Basics of Jewish belief. Jews are forbidden to create a sovereign homeland for themselves. We are in exile by divine decree and commanded by the Almighty to be loyal citizens in the countries where we reside. Killing, stealing, occupying another's land, or oppressing an entire people is totally forbidden in Jewish religion. The state of Israel is illegitimate and criminal. It is a rebellion against God and a violation of the Jewish religion. It is a Nakba, a catastrophe for the Palestinian people, and a disaster for the Jewish people. We promote a totally free Palestine. We demand that all rights should be returned to the Palestinian people. We clearly state that Jews would be far more safe, and the Jewish religion would be far better preserved under Palestinian rule over the Holy Land, rather than under this illegitimate, destructive state of Israel. That authentic Jewry never recognized the legitimacy of the existence of the state of Israel, and therefore we cannot recognize Jerusalem as its capital. The state of Israel is no benefit to the Jewish people, and certainly the recognition of Jerusalem as the capital of the state of Israel is not in their benefit. Zionist propaganda and intimidation of nations
to support their state of Israel does not benefit the Jewish people. On the contrary, it is causing anti-Semitism and hatred towards Jews. The Zionists do this deliberately, dragging us into their conflict in order to further their own interests. We pray for the speedy and total dismantlement of this state of Israel. We hope that this should be peaceful, with no more suffering of anyone involved. And we strongly hope that once this obstacle to peace, this movement of Zionism, this state of Israel is no longer empowered, we, peoples of all backgrounds, can once again live in peace in the Holy Land as we did in the past.
الرسم البياني اللي شايفينه تحت هو أسعار أسهم الفيسبوك لمدة شهر، وتحديث امبارح هو الأقل سعر. هذا بدل أن الحملات اللي عملتوها لتقييمه على المتجر نجمة واحدة ناجحة ومستمرة بإذن الله. على متجر الأندرويد نجمة من أصل 5، وعلى متجر الآيفون نجمتين من أصل 5، ولسه مستمرين لنصرة إخواننا في فلسطين.
بنكون وصلنا لختام حلقتنا لليوم. بتمنى إذا عجبكم المحتوى إنكم تنشروا المقطع على أكبر قدر ممكن بالواتساب، الفيسبوك وببقية منصات التواصل الاجتماعي. لا تنسوا تشتركوا بالقناة وتفعلوا زر الجرس ليوصلكم إشعار بكل حلقة جديدة. وإذا ما عجبك المحتوى بتقدر تضغط ديسلايك، فما في مشكلة. هذا ما أعلم، والله أعلى وأعلم، ونسبة العلم إليه أسلم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك، أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت، أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
موطني موطني، الجلال والجمال والسناء والبهاء في رباك، في رباك، والحياة والنجاة والهناء والرجاء في هواك، في هواك. هل أراك سالما منعما وغانما مكرما، سالما منعما وغانما مكرما. هل أراك في علاك تبلغ السماك، تبلغ السماك. موطني 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 موطني، الشباب لن يكل همه أن يستقل أو يبيد، أو يبيد. نستقي من الردى ولن نكون للعدا كالعبيد، كالعبيد. لا لا نريد، لا نريد ذلنا المؤبدا وعيشنا المنكدا، ذلنا المؤبدا وعيشنا المنكدا. لا نريد بل نعيد مجدنا التليد، مجدنا التليد. موطني موطني